Ever find yourself saying a word and it's like, whoa, this word actually sounds like what it means. That's onomatopoeia. And that's what we're diving deep into today. It's going to be a blast. We're talking words that imitate, echo, play with all the sounds around us. We've got a whole bunch of cool articles and research lined up all about onomatopoeia, like how it works, why it's so different between languages, and how writers use it to make these super vivid experiences, really paint a picture with sound. So, to help us navigate this whole linguistic world, we've got, well, our expert in pretty much everything. What do you say? Ready to make some noise with us?
Oh, absolutely. I'm always ready to dive into these hidden depths of language. It's fascinating stuff.
Right. So when we say onomatopoeia, the first thing that comes to mind for most people is probably animal sounds like bark, meow, roar. Those just feel, I don't know, almost instinctive.
Totally. And it's amazing how those sounds, they become so ingrained in us from such a young age. But what I find even more interesting is how these, what we think of as simple words, actually open the door to this much bigger linguistic world.
Okay, now you've got me really intrigued. Lay it on us. What are we missing?
Well, think about it this way. That rooster crow we all know, that cock-a-doodle-doo, it's not actually universal,
Wait, really?
Oh, yeah. In France, they hear cocorico.
Get out of here.
And in Germany, they say it's kikeriki.
So the same bird sounds totally different depending on where you are. My mind is blown.
Exactly. And that's what's so cool about it. It shows how our languages act like filters, shaping how we hear, and then how we actually make those sounds ourselves. Like what's a clear tick-tock to you in English might be di-da in Mandarin. Wild, right?
It's like we all speak different versions of sound, kind of, right?
Yeah, it's like we're all listening with slightly different ears, tuned by our own languages. But it gets even more wild. It's not just straight up copying the sound,
Yeah.
There's this whole other thing called, get this, sound symbolism.
Sound symbolism. Okay, you're going to have to break that one down for me. What's that all about?
So picture a word like smooth, even without actually touching anything, just saying it. Smooth. It kind of feels smooth, doesn't it? Just the sound itself. Or think about this, about a Japanese. And it doesn't directly copy a specific sound, but it makes you think of things scattering, breaking apart, that feeling.
Whoa, that's so cool. So it's like those words, they're tapping into something deeper, like a connection between the sound and the meaning that goes way beyond just, trying to copy the sound.
Exactly. Our brains, they're wired to make those connections, without even realizing it.
Yeah.
We associate sounds with feelings, with ideas, even just how the consonants bunch up in a word or how long a vowel sound is. All that can change how we feel about a word just from the sound alone.
I was reading about how James Joyce, the writer, he actually invented a word, tut-tat. It was for a knock on the door in one of his books. And it's it makes so much sense now. He wasn't just trying to be different. He was trying to create a whole feeling.
Right. And that's what makes onomatopoeia such a powerful tool for writers. It's not just about accuracy. Take William Carlos Williams, the poet. He uses this phrase, soft coal, soft coal, soft coal. And it's not just the chugga-chugga sound of a train. It's the rhythm, the feeling of the train moving. He brings it to life with those words.
Oh, and you can't forget about comics. Bam, pow, scare, six-star RT, that. Yes. It's those words are practically characters themselves,
Totally. And comics are a great example of how onomatopoeia can work even if you don't speak the language. Those sounds, they're universal. So you get a whole other layer to the story just from the sounds.
It's wild how onomatopoeia can be so simple. A kid could get it, but then it can also be so deep and complex at the same time.
It really makes you think about how we experience language. It's not just about the words themselves. It's about the sounds and the feelings they evoke.
Language isn't just about information. It's about creating a whole experience, right?
Exactly. And onomatopoeia reminds us that the sounds all around us, they matter. Our ears are always picking up these amazing sonic details.
And it makes you realize just how cool language is. It's always changing and adapting to capture those sounds, those feelings in new and surprising ways.
For sure.
So for our listeners out there who are probably just as obsessed with onomatopoeia as I am now, where do we go from here? What can we do to keep exploring this idea?
Well, I have a fun challenge for you. Next time you're out and about and you hear a sound, any sound, try to come up with a word to describe it.
Okay, I like this.
And then see if you can find out how someone speaking a different language might describe that same sound. You might be surprised by the different ways people interpret and express the same sonic experience.
Wow, that's such a cool idea. It's like a mini linguistic adventure, right, in our everyday lives.
Exactly. It's about opening your ears to the world in a whole new way.
Well said. Well, that brings us to the end of our deep dive into the amazing world of onomatopoeia. We've laughed, we've learned, and we've definitely expanded our vocabularies today.
It's been a blast.
And hopefully, we've given everyone listening a whole new appreciation for the way sound shapes how we see and understand the world around us. So until next time, keep your ears open, keep playing with words, and who knows what other linguistic adventures await.